everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Unrequested PD podcast. We're your hosts, Francisco Faticati
and Jorge Valdez.
And we're here to talk to you about a couple of things. First, we're going to talk about crazy teacher stories, because we've all had those first year stories that just, you don't know how they happened, but they did. And we're going to give a couple of pieces of advice that we've collected from people to brand new teachers or to people who want to go into the teaching profession, because I know that's a hard decision to make. And it's a tough job. Teaching is hard.
Yeah, teaching's not a profession for everybody.
It's not for everybody. Although, I don't know, because I've seen a lot of ads like recruiting teachers. Like, have you ever thought about teaching? Like, I don't think it's just about like I've ever thought about it.
It's more than that, right? You gotta really love it. You can't just go into it just because. Let me just change my job.
There's a sign on the road.
Yeah, there's a sign on the road. I should go into it.
There's 53,000. No, I think in Spanish we call it vocación. Tienes que tener vocación.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there a translation in English? How do you call it in English? You gotta love it.
We gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah, because if you don't, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, I know
you gotta be a people person for sure.
Yep.
Because you're working with all types of people, right?
Every single day, every hour, every minute of your day is spent with people, with adults, with kids. Like and we're not saying you have to like kids. All we're saying is that you have to treat kids well.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, it's part of. I mean, that's the main part of the job.
Yeah,
for sure.
Imagine going to work and being miserable every single day.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in it for the summers or the money, what money, right? And what summers? Because summers are short and money goes fast. But you gotta know the purpose of what you're doing, right? To be able to know that you're gonna impact future generations and inspire them, right? Because at the end of the day, sometimes it's not what you're teaching them; it's how you're making them grow, right? Or inspiring them to be whatever they want to be.
Exactly. And I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago as to how sometimes we overemphasize college education, but a lot of times that's not it. Like, we gotta push them to whatever they want to be. Just be the best.
Whatever they I think in sometimes you are the only guide that they have. Sometimes in the family they don't have that, or in their whatever situation they're in.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to do that, and it's not part of the job description, but it's part of the job itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Which, let me ask you this, because I saw this on TikTok the other day. It says that teachers, it's not part of the teacher's job to create a rapport with kids. Like, it's not part of their job to make connections. It's their job to teach the content. What do you think of that?
I think that your job is not just to teach the content, because there's got to be an intake, right? You're just going to be talking to the wall if you don't have that rapport with them. You got to be able to reach the kids and grab their focus. And in order for any of that to happen, they have to like you first.
Yeah.
So your personality plays a big role in it, and how you relate to them, and what boundaries you set also, because yes, you can be friendly, but this is where the line ends. You can't let them cross that line, because they'll test you. They're going to test you, and you got to just set
especially in high school, I think. I don't know. I've never thought
about it. No, in elementary as well.
Yeah, they will?
Yeah, they will.
I mean, I know my kids test me all the time.
Oh, there you go.
You know that.
Yeah. They push it. They see what they can get away with, and you have to say, no. We're good. We get along, but at the end of the day, I'm the teacher, you're the student, and that's what it is. And
is that your first piece of advice to new teachers out there?
I think that, that would be my first piece of advice, would be that, as a first, especially if you're young, because it could be your first year, and you might be, a little older, and just by the age, they might respect you because you're older, right? But if you're new and young, I would say have that rapport with them, but draw the line a little further.
Yeah,
because they're gonna try to get away with a lot of things, and you got to set the line to where, okay, this teacher don't play, and by itself, it just starts. They tell their friends, and their friends tell their friends, and believe it or not, without you even knowing a student, they know a lot about you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to set that boundary way out there your first couple of years. Then you can start bringing it slowly,
Same.
and become that chill teacher. But first off, yeah, I mean, sometimes I had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
And sometimes I still do. Sometimes I feel like, oh man, I'm too lenient. You know, I need to set a little bit.
Because you're what, 10 years in?
I'm 10 years in.
10 years in.
Yes, sir. But they go fast.
Yeah, they do go fast. Well, then you started in the same year that I started. Is that I think I started 2013 maybe.
That's about right.
13, 14 academic
13, 14,
year.
yeah.
13, 14 academic year.
Sure.
A long time. Like I think back to year one, and man, like I think of all the crazy things that happened in the classroom. A lot of them were because like I graduated. I was a psychology major. Like I didn't know classroom management.
Correct. Yeah.
And YouTube was big, but it wasn't as big as it is now. I didn't have TikTok to see how to do a couple of things. Yeah. So I remember going to my first training. It was Harry Wong. Have you ever gone to First Day of School by Harry Wong? No?
Yes.
First Days of School.
Yes.
And I had to go by that, but then later on I realized that it's a good place to start, but I think I may be wrong, and people out there may know this better than I do, but I think Harry Wong says that you can't wear jeans because kids won't respect you if you don't wear jeans.
So I remember reading that for my alternative certification. We had to read the first, what was it called again? First couple of days, first
days of school, first day of school,
something like that. Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. He mentions a lot of the do's and don'ts, but I don't know if it could necessarily apply.
Yeah, especially again, I worked at a Title I school. Like that was my first job. Actually, when I got hired, this is crazy because I got hired and I wasn't certified yet. I don't know if I ever shared that with you.
Probation?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know that you had to get certification. So I saw a job opening, I applied, and then I went to the interview, and so I'm in the interview answering the questions, and it's going well. Like I just finished school. I want to teach this. I want to do this. And so the principal says, "What's your certification?" Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me. What's that? Gee, wow.
Like you know, like in order to teach, you gotta get certified. You gotta go to the pro. I'm like, no, I didn't know. I had no idea.
I have my bachelor's. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, man, like it's crazy and it's embarrassing because I think you said it earlier. Like a lot of times we don't have a role model. Like my parents didn't go to college, so I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know the path. Yeah, you don't know.
Like, I don't know exactly. When I went to my interview, I took my diploma with me.
High school and college. What's up? Dang.
So it was the lady at HR who said, "Nah, I need the transcript, buddy." Like,
dang.
Not your diploma. You keep that at home. Put it in a frame.
Do whatever you want with that. That's not as important.
I took
wow.
I took it because I
you didn't know. Yeah.
No, I didn't know. Like I thought that was it. Like,
maybe they're gonna ask me for it, and I gotta show proof.
Yep. I worked so hard for this.
Yep.
Take it with me. I think I took it to this.
That's how they handed it to you. You still had it. Gee,
Me lo llevé.
Surprising. Like, what's that, sir? Why are you carrying it around? Carry it around in the truck just in case.
Yeah, I know. But like so many things that happened. I was hired. Anyways, the principal was nice enough to tell me, this is what you got to do. I'm going to hire you as a TA. So she hired me as a TA. I finished the program and then I was hired as a teacher. Which was it was pretty cool. Like it was really cool. So I got to work with kids before being like in the actual teacher record.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting. But when I get hired, I'm told, oh, you're going to be teaching 9th grade pre-AP, which is I guess here in the state of Texas, like advanced like English, advanced English. And I show up, and my schedule doesn't show that. Like I'm teaching newcomers, and I'm teaching kids who haven't passed their. At that point, it was tax.
Oh, the taxes.
The taxes. So I had a like a remedial courses. Like it was ESOL and then remedial all day. I'm like, oh man. Like first I didn't know what it was. So when I asked the older teachers, most veteran teachers.
There you go, veteran teacher.
Good way to say it. And I asked the most veteran teachers, they said, oh, you're going to be teaching the kids who haven't passed the tax test. Dude, I was scared. Because at this point the book didn't apply. Like it didn't apply because I
you know that you were getting those type of kids.
Yeah. I was getting my brother.
I was getting my brother. You were getting your younger brother. Yeah.
I was gonna get my brother, and I lived with my brother my entire life, so I know what I was.
You were gonna have 20 of them or 20 or 30 of them.
20 of them in the classroom, telling you off or whatever. Well, at least that's how I imagined it.
Correct.
Like, I thought, man, like this is gonna be tough, but surprisingly, it wasn't. Like, I don't know. Because I know a lot of people have different experiences with
those kids, right?
With kids.
So, you know, I agree because we know, right? We know when you have those type of kids, but it's weird how once you lose that fear and once you get that connection with them, they become like your favorite students or the ones that you make that connection the most, and you want that you can.
And it's fun.
Yeah, and it makes it fun. After you know, okay, they're gonna respect you. You show them. That's what they want too. Is to be. They'll respect you if you respect them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've had some students like that at first I'm like, oh man, I've heard about this kid, but once you get to know them, I was like, nah, not that bad. You know, it's pretty good.
And they're great kids. And,
they're good kids.
And they try, and like just like any other kid, if you put some effort, if you try to get to know them, I think get to know them a little bit better. Like they'll try for you. They'll work for you.
They'll work for you, exactly. Any crazy stories on those times?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of crazy stories in year one for me. Like I'm telling you, I had a surprisingly big group. I think in high school, you teach high school, so our numbers go up to 180 per academic year. Wow. Like it's crazy. Like just a lot of kids, and I had a kid who we were reading a book. And we were reading a book, and she's like, "Can I sit on this side of the class?" I'm like, "Okay." I also read somewhere in all the things that you read as a teacher that you have to give them sometimes a leeway to sit where they want,
flexible seating,
where they feel comfortable. I was like, "Sure, go sit over there." And so I see her all into her book, right? And she's reading. We're reading the book Thief. That's the book we're reading as a class, and she's into it. She picks up her book. And she had her phone right here with a charger plugged in.
Wow.
So she forgot, and the kid was hanging out. I mean, it's just that kids are gonna be kids.
Yeah,
like they're
gonna try to get away with whatever you.
Yeah,
you let them get away with.
I mean, I had a good laugh. I did. I tried to be mad or upset. I couldn't. That's pretty clever. That's pretty clever. She almost fooled me there.
But the big old white charger.
I had another kid, and I'm not gonna say their name. I had another kid who I was teaching newcomers, right? Newcomers. So these are kids who are brand new to the country. They're learning a new language, new culture. And so she asked me, "Are you new?" Yeah, it's my first year me preguntan en español. And she tells me, por mí no se preocupe, yo ya sé inglés. I already know English. All right, makes my job easier.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we're going to focus on passing the test. So I get her first essay, right? And I'm reading the essay. And so she ends every sentence with every word with ing or o or ts or ous. And to her,
that's English.
That's right? English. Yeah. Hola. Yo me llamo Francisco. The entire paper, man.
Wow.
So how do you
and that's what you had to fix? I mean,
as a first year teacher, like first years, first weeks. Like first that now I've always been a little bit of a clown myself. So I couldn't hold it in. Like I was.
You thought, she's playing me. She's joking around.
But she wasn't.
She was being serious.
She was being serious. So To me, that was one of the strangest things. Like, how do you deal with
something like that?
Hey,
you're wrong, dude. That's not English at all.
I know you think that this is English. That's not it. Hola. Yeah, but it was a surprising experience for me as a year one, because nobody ever teaches you. And I didn't go through the education blocks like a lot of people do. But I also don't think that in the education blocks that was part of the case studies.
Correct. Yeah, they wouldn't. There's nothing. I think that there's nothing in the blocks or in the alternative programs or anything that can prepare you for actual classroom experiences that you need to deal with on a daily basis, and things that you have to figure out yourself. How are you going to deal with it?
Yeah,
and I think it goes from teachers all the way to administration to central office superintendents and all that. Like, there's things that happen, and how are you going to deal with that?
That you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, and there's no book for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first days of school by everyone, but it doesn't apply stay there. All the time. Yeah, like, it doesn't apply all the time. I had because again, I didn't go through the education blocks, and I had brought my own biases into my teaching, or my, I don't know, expectations or rules. So I had this dumb rule. First years, don't judge me. I know you're gonna judge me, but don't judge me. First years of actually year one, one of my rules or one of my things was, before you come into my classroom, pick up your pants. That was because that was an issue in that district for a while. That pants were saggy or they were low, and that was my thing. Like, every day before they came in, I was shook everybody's hand, and it's always a handshake. I think after COVID, it became like a fist bump, but it was always a handshake for every kid. And then if pants were low, so I was like, yeah, okay, go ahead, hey, pick up your pants or whatever. Nothing crazy as to, you gotta pick up your pants. Nothing like that. It was just like, hey, remember to pick up your pants, or make sure you pick up your pants, whatever.
Just a reminder.
Every day. So maybe like at week 5, like, we were already a month and some time in. So this kid is constantly coming to class, and every day that he comes in, I tell him the same thing: shake his hand, hey, pick up your pants, and he does it. This day he wasn't having it. He wasn't having it.
Something was going on.
Something, and to send my same line, hey, how's it going? Pick up your pants, or make sure you pick up your pants. Like, nah, but he walks in, and New Year teacher me doesn't know yet that I can't fixate on the kid. Like, it's not about, like, the kid wasn't against me, like that was the thing. So I go back and I tap on the desk. Don't forget to pick up your pants. Like, yeah, that one, no. Then I go again. Then I go again. Dude, the kid gets mad. And he gets up, flips the desk, like, just flips the desk and walks out.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, and walks out. I don't know. I had no idea what to do. Like, I don't want to write him out because I was the one that was bothering him. I don't know. Again, I don't know. It was year one for me. So I didn't know a lot of these things. But then the next day happened, and he came back in, shook his hand again, and we just moved on. We just went on with our day. But that was one of the craziest things for me that I actually felt scared or nervous. I was like,
am I supposed to? Yeah, what is he gonna do?
Like, what's he gonna do? Like, what do I do?
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
How do you follow through with that, or what do you do, right? And I think that's where different teaching philosophies. Some people might have agreed with you. Yeah, keep on it, because his behavior has to change because it's your classroom. But I mean, we saw the response. Do you really want that response in your classroom? Could you just said, you know what, I told him, but that day he wasn't having it.
And does it really matter? That's
does it really matter?
Does it really matter that his pants are low?
Well, that's up to you in your classroom, right? Like,
well, academically, for learning, doesn't matter. I think that was it.
Well, okay, but then we talk about rapport, right? You have to have the rapport with those students. And if I'm you, I'm taking it as a lack of respect. I'm asking you to pick up your pants because in this classroom, we dress a certain way because we respect each other. in this classroom. So, it's tough. It's not an easy.
Now, 10 years in, with a different mentality, different ideology. Now I think that who am I to criticize this kid's entire culture because maybe his parents' pants are low.
Yeah, that's all he sees around him.
Yeah,
this is his environment.
So me saying pick him up is saying
you're going against
your entire family
are wrong.
So I get that too. Like, why not? So I don't know. Like now I get it. Now I see it that way. But
correct. But at that time,
no. Pants go up. Yeah. Pants go up. But
no, I agree. I always tell them, joking around, right, with my students. I said, you know what, man? If I was younger, I tell them, if I was younger, and I would pick a fight with you, and I would pull down your pants and punch you, and then run away because you couldn't. Your pants are gonna be halfway down to your ankles, and I'm running, and you can't catch me. And they just laugh and they're sir, But yeah, man. Like I get you. Like what do you do? There's no book on that. There's
I picked up Harry Wong's first
and that was nowhere.
There was no chapter.
Nothing on that. That's the hard thing about teaching, but that's the good thing about teaching, that you get to reflect, you get to learn, you get to change the way you do things because of the reflection, right? So were you wrong or were you right? And that's the good thing and the bad thing. We will never know because what makes you right? What makes you wrong?
Yeah. And to me, it's just learning from it. Like just learning that next time I know not to come back 5 times to the same desk. I said it twice and that was it. Like, I could have let it go for that day, or could have said, hey, I noticed that today you're off, or something different. I could have taken a different behavioral approach, but I did it. But now
you grew from it.
Yeah,
you're a better teacher now.
Hope so.
Huh? Hope so. I'm sure. Other crazy stories come to mind?
I mean, I'm telling you, like I lived a lot of crazy experiences with my students. I took them on a trip once. We went to San Antonio SeaWorld. I think that's where we went. Yeah, it was a pretty good trip. So on the way back, the bus breaks down.
Oh,
I know. So I have a group of, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 kids in a bus. I think it was one of those good looking school theme buses.
Oh, okay.
Broke down. So we're stranded in Alice, Texas. We're still about 2 hours away from home. Now I gotta call every single parent and let them know we're not gonna make it by 8 p.m. or whatever time we had said. So nobody's picking up. We go to, I don't know if you're familiar with Alice, but there's a Whataburger. I think correct. In my mind, that's the only thing.
That's the only thing that is in Alice. Everybody stops at that Whataburger when you're going to San Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Whataburger, so we stopped at the Whataburger. And so I have all 60 kids sitting down in the sidewalk. Because I mean, some people are inside, but we can't be inside for hours.
Yeah,
because people are gonna want to go in.
You're disrupting their business.
Yeah. So we came out. We stayed there. I don't know, man. Like maybe 3, 4 in the morning.
Wow!
It was late.
And what day was this? School day?
It was a school day. It was a school day. I remember because the next day I still showed up to work. Like I still had to go to work in the morning, and I was a coach, so I had to go extra early for practice and all these things. So, it was crazy. Anyways, the bus breaks down. They bring in another bus to pick us up. Now we're gonna go on another bus. The bus starts burning, like fire, literal fire in the what was it called? I don't know the term for it. Like where the speedometer is.
Okay.
El tablero, ¿cómo se dice?
Yeah, the
tablero.
The floats, okay. Like that girl. Oh man, I can't.
What is it called? I don't know. I don't think I have.
Dashboard.
The dashboard. There you go, the dashboard. It starts burning in the new bus. So the bus driver says, "Yeah, we're not stopping," and he just
kept going.
Yeah. So that all the lights on the dashboard. Thank you so much for that. all the lights on the dashboard just went out. All the lights.
We don't know how fast we're going, but don't matter now.
No, we got home. We got to school. All kids got picked up. I went home.
This is 3-4 in the morning.
Yeah, took like a power nap.
Let's go.
Came back to work. Yeah. Again, nowhere in any books.
First day of Harry Wong.
He didn't think about those stories.
He was nowhere to be found.
Yeah. What about you? Have you gone through anything?
Not that I think of, man. The only story I kind of remember was when I was a TA at an alternative program, right? And I was coaching basketball, not for a district, but outside. And the kids, I don't remember how they got wind of it that, oh, he coaches basketball. Oh, I like basketball too, sir, right? Whatever. And they're in a line, and in that school, you take them to the restroom at certain times, and that's it. They don't get to go by themselves. It's a group and whatever. So they go to the restroom, and they're waiting out there, and they're like, one of the kids is like, "Oh, sir, I can jump. I'm good at basketball. I can touch the ceiling." You can't touch the ceiling. You can touch the ceiling, sir. I'm gonna do it. So he's like, he's all stretchy, he's getting ready, and he jumps. And when he jumps, a pipe and marijuana fall out of his shorts.
So now you have to report that.
So then I'm like, he's like, "No, sir, don't." I was like, "No. It's me or you, and it ain't gonna be me."
Yeah.
So then, I had to report him, and he got more days or got suspended or something like that. But that's the only story I can remember is that one, because I was like, if he would have done that, no one ever knew that he had anything. But because he decided to jump and show off, boop, I was like, "Hey, quest too." I
can actually touch
the ceiling.
Yeah. I'm a grown adult, but I was still trying.
Yeah. So it's the only crazy story that I can remember. I don't remember any.
You let me know later if you want me to cut that one off.
Nah, I don't mind. I mean, it's what happens.
See,
it ain't a lie.
And I can guarantee you that there's no chapter in the book.
Yeah, Harry Wong didn't write about pipes and weed. I mean, they don't do that now. Now it's all about vapes and all these crazy things like that. So, I mean, another advice: hey, don't think that every object they're holding is the actual object, right?
Yeah.
For new teachers, it looks like USBs, but they ain't USBs.
Yeah, and that's another part of teaching, that you have to be always aware
of what's going on around.
What's going on? Like I sometimes we wish that teaching was about teaching, but it's not. Like a lot of the times, it's about
many other things, many other professions that that tie into this one.
Investigations. Yeah, you play counselor, parent. You play so many roles, and then sometimes you teach.
Yeah, then somewhere in there you have a lesson.
Yeah, you throw something. You have an objective for the day.
There you go.
You got to make sure you get through that one.
Yeah. Well, what about you? You got any advice for new teachers?
Actually, I asked that question on TikTok, and I had two that were really good. Let me see. Wait. Let me pull it up. So, Eunice Canales says, advice for teachers. Observe the good teachers. Look for their systems and procedures and ask them about discipline and management. And that would be her advice to any new teacher coming into the profession.
I agree with Eunice.
Observe. And ask.
That's like foundational stuff. You need to get that down before you get anything else.
Yeah. But how do you determine who the good teachers are? Because sometimes people who are liked, Adam Grant, who's he's a researcher, writer of many self-help books. He says that the people who talk more tend to be looked as people who can lead, but sometimes they're not.
They're not the lead. They're not supposed to be the leaders. Maybe the quiet ones that don't speak.
Yeah.
Could be the leaders, but because they don't speak or they don't talk, you kind of like, oh, he's not that good because he's shy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ashley Diaz He says, focus on these in this order.
Specific order.
Yeah, this order. Classroom management and culture.
Okay.
Learn your curriculum. He says, sounds dumb, but know the teaks. And how your district wants it taught. Assume nothing. Ask the teacher you trust. That's
foundational
advice.
too.
Yeah, that's
Foundational
solid advice.
I think every teacher can agree that classroom management is number one.
Yeah.
If you don't have classroom management.
But what is classroom management?
I mean, I guess having the procedures as well. Yeah. Having the students, having this. So personally, I need them to get into the classroom. They already know what to do. Mm-hmm. By the first semester, they know what to expect in the classroom. Oh, mm-hmm. We have to get to this program. Okay, after that, he's going to teach me for 20 minutes. After mm-hmm. that, we're going to do a guided practice. And at the end, he's going to let us, there's structure.
Yeah, okay.
and they know. So second semester comes around, mm-hmm. They're not like, what are we going to do today? They know how the classroom works, mm-hmm. right? So I would say your management, how does your classroom work? Mm-hmm. What do they do when they get there? Mm-hmm. Do they sit around and wait? I mean.
And that it's always possible to restart.
Yes, if you get it wrong the first semester, okay, may want to change it, but
yeah.
Or spring break, right? They mm-hmm. use spring break or
because I think it took me years until I found my style. Like it took me years. Like I watched teacher movies all the time. I was a fan of Jaime Escalante, before
the legend.
Then after I started studying a little more on him, and I'm not such a fan anymore. But the movie was pretty cool.
Yeah, the movie was good. The movie was good.
Like that was part of it. Like
inspirational.
Kids, yeah. Because like just like you're saying, the Profe Valdez's structure, I had my own. Like kids knew, like they come in, I'm gonna be at the door, I'm gonna shake their hands. Right. I had a kid who would walk in every day. Like he never missed a class. And I would say, "Hey, how are you doing?" He would answer, "I don't want to be here." every single day. Like every single day. I don't want to be here. Like, all right. Neither do I, buddy.
But we're here. Let's go.
But we're here. Yeah. Yeah, good kid. He was a good kid. He was just, he had his own humor.
Yeah,
But they knew that there was going to be something to do. Mr. Faticati was going to tell a couple of jokes here and there. He was either going to bust out his guitar, going to do some magic before class started.
There you go.
And then he was going to teach what he was going to teach. And then it was like work time. Whatever we needed to do. One thing that I never had, that if I could go back in time and change, I never had like a closure to my class.
Me neither. And I still don't know.
All right, the bell's here. Let's go.
Yeah, sorry guys, let's go. Like, there's 5 minutes left. Get your stuff, and that's my closure. Get your stuff, and we're gonna get ready to go.
If I could go back in time, I would implement that, but I never had that. There was never closure to my class.
Have you ever been taught how to do closure before? Oh, were you ever taught?
No,
I haven't even taught you, so I don't know how to do a closure. I've been told you need to have a closure, and when I used to teach elementary, but
I had a good training on exit tickets. And so at some point in my career, I implemented exit tickets, which were technically closure. But
is it closure to the lesson or just the final activity?
It was, if you were a boss during 2013, from 2013 to 2016, you got to know that I was new. I don't think I ever read them in my years, in my first couple of years.
You never read the
say, hey, here's the exit ticket. All right, 589.
589.
I don't know. Like I guess in those first years, I never really knew. Like I knew I had an exit ticket, but that's when we go from the how much compliance hurts us in education, because they said you gotta have an exit ticket, and I did. Like if a principal,
but you didn't know
They walked in, they were going to see an exit ticket, and a pretty cool one because I had a calendar and it had a Twitter theme. So kids had to write an exit ticket in 240 characters or less, and then they would have to post it in the day or whatever it was.
Pretty cool.
So it was pretty cool. Meant nothing for me because I never read it. Like I never. I mean,
you didn't know how to improve.
No, you have 8 classes. How are you going to read 180 little exit tickets to determine? Because it's tough. Like we talk about differentiated instruction for the kids who are not getting it, but how many times do we actually
implement or do it?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds wrong, but
it's true.
But that was years 1, 2, 3, 4 for me when I started. Now realizing that, wait, Francisco didn't get it. Like I need to do something different for him. But that wasn't true in my first couple of years because nobody ever taught me that. Nobody ever showed me that. So I guess here you go. New piece of advice.
Yeah, there you go. New piece of advice.
New piece of advice. Assess your students. And there's different forms of assessment. Assessment's not always a test.
Correct.
Like it's not always a multiple choice.
It could be an informal test.
It could be a question. Like, hey, what do you think was the theme of today?
What's theme? You don't know what theme is? Okay,
now we gotta go back. Right? Mm-hmm. Now we gotta go back. A new thing that I think about now is that if 40% of more of my class didn't get it,
reteach it.
I'm gonna reteach it. Yeah, and that's super hard now when we have curriculums that are daily paced because they're already structured to every single day you're doing a new lesson.
That's where I struggle, man. Because how do you reteach something and then it's okay, so I'm gonna miss out on that last piece, right? On the last day or whatever. How many days it takes me to reteach? Let's say it takes me 2-3 days. Okay, well, at the end, those 2-3 days, I didn't get to teach.
I didn't do them. Mm-hmm. Another question, and this is a question for everybody out there listening. And if you've listened so far, please like and follow and all those things that you do, and subscribe, and share it with a friend. Yeah, subscribe. And I don't think that YouTube has a bell anymore, but if there's a bell, just click on it.
Yeah,
just click on it. If you see a bell somewhere there, just click on it. When you do small groups, right? Because let's say you taught your class
holistically.
Yeah, you talked to everybody. You modified as much as you could. You made it fun. You realize that 25% of your kids didn't get it. So you know that group needs to be retaught somehow, whether that's in a small group or in a new lesson. Because I don't think we do a full new lesson for 3 kids or 4 kids. So we reteach them in a small group setting. Do you reteach yesterday's lesson? Or do you reteach with today's lesson?
Hope you're not asking me. I don't know the answer to that one.
Hey, everybody.
You're looking at me like I got the answer. Nope. Let them answer and see what they got.
Right. That's an interesting thought because if I reteach yesterday's in my small group, then Francisco is missing. Francisco and Jorge are missing today's assignment. So that means that tomorrow
they are going to be behind. They're going to miss. Yeah.
All right. So here's our question.
I've always struggled with that. I've always struggled with that logistic of those two things. If you reteach a lesson, you're going to miss out on the one at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get to teach it. And if you reteach yesterday's lesson, well, they missed today's.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm with you, but I just don't know the answer.
We don't know the answer. So if you know the answer to that question, or even if you don't know the answer, but what do you do? And what are your steps to when somebody says reteach it, or another famous term that I went 9 years in my classroom without ever knowing what this actually meant. How do you spiral it in?
Oh, spiraling.
Make sure you spiral it in.
Yeah, it's
all right.
I'm going in a spiral downhill, man.
All right, I'll spiral it in.
Spiral it in.
In my lesson plans, it was today I'm gonna spiral it.
Yeah,
but
it sounded good. But
what did it mean? I don't know. I think now, but it's like anything else. They say that the more you study something, the more the answer becomes. Well, it depends. The more you study something, the answer is always going to be
depends how you see it, right?
Yeah. How do you spiral something in when it doesn't match? Like if my lesson for the day is writing, but yesterday's writing nonfiction, but let me put it in more general terms. I don't think everybody out there is a reading teacher. If my lesson for the day is addition, right? Addition. How do I spiral in yesterday's lesson, which was on
division?
Yeah, division. There you go.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, they're matched. Like if for addition and subtraction, I may be able to do it.
Yeah.
But if it's addition and division, then I can't.
You don't.
That may make zero sense.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. Because you want something to spiral and kind of flow.
Yeah.
Right. We're teaching multiplication. Oh, I can add addition in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And spiral in addition because we're adding multiple times. That's multiplication. Now I can make it.
Is that what it is? Oh yeah.
Multiplication is.
Now I know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree. It does make sense, and it just has to flow. So
yeah.
It's something else that you got to think about.
Mm-hmm. Or when did you say,
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Cut it off, and they ain't gonna know that one. Let's go. Let's move on.
Mm-hmm. Like when do you make? Yeah. When you make those decisions, because there's some kids who will have, like a plan. Like in like an IEP. There's some kids who will have an IEP, so they'll have somebody to tell you, like, hey, bring it in like this, or try it like this, or that's a completely new subject. We'll talk about special education in a different episode because we're gonna be here for years. But ideally, like you have somebody who says, I know this kid, and this is the best way to teach them. Let's go in that direction. But there's some kids who just are not part of the special education program, or who are not part of
labeled
anything, who are not getting the lesson. Like, how do we make sure that they also
understand it? How do you teach it to their style?
See, this podcast, this episode was intended to give tips to teachers who want to be teachers. I think we're demotivating them.
They're like, I don't know if I want to go into it. But we'll have some billboards out there. 53. Come and join us at so-and-so WSD.
Yeah, it's because it's I guess my next advice to people is try to enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. I've always told myself that if you're not having fun, you're in the wrong place. You gotta go. Because it's when I left my previous district, I had a conversation with the team, with the department, and with the kids also, and I said that I spent a lot more time actually awake with the work crew than I do with my family.
Correct. Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
They're more of your family than your actual family because you spend more time with them.
Yeah, like you're at home for what, 3-4 hours maybe?
Correct. Awake. And then you go to sleep.
Then you go to sleep. You're sure like 8 hours there, but then
and you're over there most of the day.
Yeah.
I think my advice, another advice I would give them is have some pride.
Oh yeah.
Have some pride, and even if everybody wants to try to be the best, right? And that's fine. But even if you're not, if you know you struggle with some things, and like, just have some pride in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Do something that you're like, oh, I'm good at this, and stick with it, and apply it every day. You know, have some pride. Know that people see everything, man, and if they see you trying, they're gonna know it's a good teacher, or he's not that good, but you know what? He tries every day. Have some pride and let the kids see that you are prideful in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Kids all the time, they ask me, hey, sir, you like being a teacher? I said, nah, I'd be a firefighter, right? But I'm just messing with them. I said, nah, man, I like being a teacher. I like being a teacher and a coach. Because now I don't only teach my classroom, but I get to, shape other athletes in their path. So, yeah, I mean, I would say have some pride in what you do. But changing the subject real quick, or the theme of education. What do you guys think? What do you think, Fati?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Should we talk about just teaching, or should we open up this podcast to other things? The things that we shouldn't talk about, like religion, politics. What do you think? I mean,
those are interesting topics. Like,
correct.
Those are big topics that not everybody talks about in public, and I think a lot of the times people need a forum to hear ideas.
Yeah, different points of views or the way we see it, and we know that our point of views are not a correct one, right? Not necessarily the correct one, but it's just the way we see things. Mm-hmm. We should be able to express them as well.
Yeah,
and we should be able to receive criticism as well. If you don't agree, right? Like,
yeah,
I have friends and coworkers that we don't agree. I mean, we get along just fine, but we don't agree.
And I think that's a big piece of advice you're giving people. Sometimes you can't agree with everybody.
Yeah,
you're gonna disagree, and it's healthy to disagree.
Yeah. And what I like is to stop and think, why do they think that way? Mm-hmm. Like, they do this and this, or they support this and this and this. Why?
Okay, yeah.
Like, is it their background? Is it what they see? What is it? So yeah, I mean, I don't know what you think.
No, I mean, I for personally, I enjoy talking about a lot of things. Like I enjoy it. I think it's good. I think healthy conversations about things. I teach a class at the university. It's a rhetorics class. And so one of the things that we focus on is having arguments that are based on logic, reason, and the truth.
Yeah, facts.
And facts. And so part of that class, I tell students that there's always controversies going on in life. Anywhere that you look at it, there's always right or wrong. Like, there's always a controversy where you can't find middle ground. And I can give you the one of PBIS, for example, the behavior systems. Mm-hmm. You're never gonna find middle ground. Some people either believe in it
or you don't.
And that's it. There's no in the middle.
Yeah.
There's no in between. It's like in group work. Like, some people believe in it, other people don't. Again, and even in education, but I also feel that you have to base your opinions on facts. And not just because I think it does.
Correct. So again, going to being open-minded, if PBIS, let's say I disagree on that, and data shows that it works, I need to say
I was wrong.
I was wrong. I need to try it. I haven't even tried it, and I'm already disagreeing with it. Mm-hmm. Let's try it. You know, or whatever the data shows. Okay, same. That's what we got to follow.
Yeah.
Because of the facts, right? But I don't know. I was just thinking.
Yeah, because it's a tough one, specifically, because there are a lot of feelings, specifically when we go towards religion, and
yes,
like my kids go to a I think it's like a Christian based school, which I don't know 100% support. Mm-hmm. Actually, I 0% support. 0% support, but they like it and they enjoy it and they enjoy the environment. So that's why it's tough for me to tell my kids, don't do this or don't do the prayer or whatever, and because they enjoy it. So
let them go. Let them do it. It ain't hurting them.
Yeah, they're gonna make their own decisions eventually in life. But here's a piece of advice for you. Because now I think is prayer allowed in public school now?
I don't think so. Like, I mean, it can't be teacher led.
It can be teacher led.
It can't.
It cannot. Okay, because I've seen a lot in coaching. A lot of coaches lead prayer. Is that a thing or?
I've seen it.
I have different religious views, so when my players wanted to pray, I let them pray. I just stay away from it.
And that's how it should be. If they want to pray, that's fine. You just can't lead the prayer. If they ask you, "Hey, coach, can you pray? Can you pray for us?" Or can you pray? Now that's when they're asking you to. Okay, that's different, right? But you can't just, "Hey, come on, we're gonna pray." You shouldn't.
Yeah,
people do it.
Yeah, man. It happens.
It happens, right?
Yeah, because you can't force your own views on kids.
Yeah. It's
whether that's religious, political.
Yeah, correct. On
anything. Yeah.
Like if you're trying to force your favorite team on a podcast by wearing a shirt. And no, I didn't know he was gonna wear blue.
It was azul.
I didn't know he was gonna wear blue. I just decided to come like this.
But see, all right. I think we're closing out this episode. I've had a lot of fun, but if you were to sum up everything we talked about today in 2 pieces of advice that you're gonna give teachers, you have your best friend is gonna go into teaching, and he or she or they say, "George, tell me what are the best 2 things that I need to know before I go into my first year." They burned all the copies of Harry Wong's first episode. They're all burned. They're all gone. What do you tell them?
Okay, classroom management, like the comment said, that's the big one. And having procedures, right? So having your classroom management, knowing that there's a line to be drawn. Don't let those students cross that line. And also expect the unexpected, like you mentioned. Expect the unexpected, because you might think that you know all the scenarios, and then boom, something comes up, and you're like, "What do I do?" And that goes back to your views, your upbringing, all those things, and you got to stick to that, because that is who you are. So those would be my advice.
Nice. Those are 2 good pieces of advice.
What about for you?
I would say, and people may challenge me on this one. To me, content is secondary. Like, content, part of it, but don't focus a lot on the content itself. Focus on making sure that the kids feel okay and that they're ready to learn from you. If you have a kid who is not happy, it doesn't matter how much you try to teach them that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Not one person cares.
Yeah.
Like if you don't connect. And I'm gonna give an honorable mention to classroom management, because I feel that that's important. Classroom procedures. It's something that needs to happen. Something that people need to know. But I also think that takes time.
Yeah.
Like it takes time to find the Fati style. It takes time to find the Mr. Profe Valdez style.
Yeah.
Like it takes time. Because we want to copy everything we see. We want to be the cool teacher, but we also want to be the strict teacher. And so it takes time to actually find yourself as a teacher. So just wait for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna come.
It's gonna come.
Just wait for it. And my biggest piece of advice to educators out there: if you realize that it's not for you, take the step and go. Because you're hurting kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that one hurt me to let it out. But it's true.
Ouch.
If you at some point realize it's year 3 and you're not feeling it, year 6, this is not for you, you're gonna have to let it go at some point. Because you're playing with kids' futures, you're playing with kids' lives just for a paycheck, and that's also unfair to all the kids out there.
Ooh.
We're gonna end on that one.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been fun, sir. Thank you. I know we've been absent for
quite a bit.
I think we went a whole month without recording. So we're gonna come back in a row for weekly podcasts or weekly sessions and of talking things, and maybe we'll have some,
expand it a little bit more.
Yeah. And we'll have some people here. We'll invite some people. We'll have some people over to hear different point of views and different ideas. If you've listened this far, like always, please don't don't forget to hit that follow button and that like button.
And if you'd like to join us, just leave a comment.
Oh yeah,
hey, I want to be on it. And
we're always open to new ideas and new thoughts.
For sure.
So, thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in. Bye.